What's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for another hard rock and heavy metal update. Let's just kind of jump in. I've got quite a bit to show and don't want this to be a 45-minute video. Most of this stuff is not anything I've bought recently. It's just, I'm just way behind on the videos and kind of playing cleanup. So first up, this is one I bought 3 or 4 months ago. This is an original pressing. I didn't have an original. I have one of the represses from a couple years ago, which sounds good, but the original sounds much better. But this is Rain in Blood from Slayer on the, I don't know how easy it is to see, but it's on the Def Jam label. I ended up finding this for I think I paid like 25 bucks for it a while back, and it's just kind of been sitting there. I've listened to it a couple of times. Rain in Blood has never been my favorite Slayer album. I like all of their pre-Rain in Blood albums, and then Seasons in the Abyss is probably my favorite of their Def Jam or Def America years. But this would probably be this, then South of Heaven, or I'm sorry, Seasons in the Abyss, then South of Heaven, and then this one. And it may just be the order that I was introduced to him. And my buddy that turned me on to Slayer played me Decade of Aggression first. And then the first CDs I bought after that came out were Seasons and then South of Heaven. So those are the ones I really fell in love with. And that one I got a couple years later. Still, obviously, an absolute thrash classic. Next up, this is actually my least favorite album from this band from the 80s. However, still a great album, and I've been missing it for a while. Every time I run across a copy, it's in horrible condition, and I picked this one up sealed for 20 bucks. Original pressing. But this is Girls, Girls, Girls from Motley Crue. It's still got the digital metal mastering sticker on the back, but again, pretty much a mint copy other than the fact that it was a cutout. But I was pretty blown away to run across a copy of that, still sealed. This one I picked up maybe 6 or 7 months ago. I was never really into this band. I think I was talking to Scott one day, and he recommended I check them out, and then I've bought 3 or 4 of their albums since. This is their 2014 album, War Eternal. This is Arch Enemy. It's funny. It's kind of hard to see. It says Bootleg LP 2014, number 372 out of 500. I don't know why they decided to do a bootleg series. It's the same as the original release. This was also done through their label, but they released it on this cool, no markings. It's just got the stamp on the front with Arch Enemy. It's on this cool clear green vinyl with no labels. It is an official copy, but I ran across it sealed for like 15 bucks, and I wasn't going to pass up on it. It's a great album too. Next up, I swore I would not buy this album unless I found it for cheap, and that's basically what happened. This is by far my least favorite album for the band, but being a completist, I still wanted to have a copy of it. This is Sane Anger from Metallica. One of my local record stores on Tuesdays does $2 off every album. They had already had this one marked down from like 25 bucks or 28 bucks, whatever it is new, to 19, or I'm sorry, to 17, and then with the $2 off, I got it for 15. It was sealed copy. This is a blackened pressing. It's not the original from a few years ago, but honestly, it won't get much spinning, or it won't get spun much anyway. This next one, one of the guys from one of the Facebook pages offered this up for sale, and I couldn't grab it fast enough. This is one that I was missing. This is Crystal Logic from Manila Road. If you've watched my channel long enough, you've heard me talk about Manila Road. It's definitely a favorite band of mine that I like more and more with every album that I pick up. I'm working on getting their whole collection. This is one of the High Roller represses, which I've got a couple of originals of theirs and the High Roller counterparts. I think the High Roller stuff actually sounds a little bit better in the case of this particular band. And a lot of it's just the production and pressing quality. You know, they were never, sadly, a huge band, though they should have been. But this one's the the orange. Kind of hard to see. It's really dark in the room tonight, and it's kind of it's really affecting the camera. So I'm sorry about that. I usually do my updates in the daytime, so I don't know what the quality of this will be, but let's do it anyway. Next up, Halo of Blood from Children of Bodom. I actually bought this when it first came out. This is a limited pressing of 500. It was only done through Hot Topic. You could buy it through their label too, but this is through Nuclear Blast. But through Hot Topic, it came with the CD, and it was on this red vinyl. And like I said, I actually picked it up when it first came out. They sold out really fast. And then I got it home, and whoever put the staple in the box that held the records put the staple through the back of the jacket and into the vinyl. And I didn't see that when I bought it. So I ended up returning it, and they were sold out when I went to get it again. But this killer album, this is their second to last album. I've talked about their newest album a bunch of times. It was one of my favorite albums from last year. I Worship Chaos. Highly recommend this one. This one as well. I've pretty much loved everything that they put out. They're really hard to categorize if you're not familiar with them. They play... they're generally considered... what do they call them? Melodic death, I guess, but they've got elements of thrash, elements of power metal. The guitar work is absolutely phenomenal. Just a killer band. And they do some of the best covers that I've ever heard. They're real good at taking non-metal songs, songs that you would never expect a band to cover, a metal band, and just ripping them. Next up, this is a Brazilian band. I showed you the single that came with this a few months ago. This is Sounder, Hell Hymns. Really good Brazilian thrash. This is on clear vinyl. And this was a limited pressing. This is 85 of 200. I think I got this one through Hell's Headbangers. But really dig this. This is the kind of stuff I was hoping to find in Brazil that I never ran across. It's crazy that I can find it on Hell's Headbangers and 3 or 4 websites here, but I can't find it in Brazil. This next one, I've talked about this band ad nauseum lately. I know my friends here are sick of hearing about them, but this is probably my favorite band that's out right now. Definitely my favorite of the newer bands. This is Savage Master, Mask of the Devil. I was having trouble finding this album. I've actually had this for about 4 months now, and it's been spun probably 15 or 20 times. I love this album, and I was also lucky enough to find the white vinyl pressing of it. But really good shot of the band right there. I believe their new album is out in Europe. I've been trying to find a vinyl copy here in the U.S. and haven't been able to find it. So I'm really looking forward to hearing it. I can't get enough of this band. Next up, a little bit of Iron Maiden. I've run across this in stores a couple of times, and they always want like 35 bucks for it. Then I was on Hell's Headbangers, and it was in their clearance section for like $7. This is Desde Aquí, Venezuela. This is Iron Maiden live in Santiago, or in Caracas in '92. This is volume 2 of the show, but this has most of my favorite songs. You got Fear of the Dark, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, The Clairvoyant, Heaven Can Wait, Run to the Hills, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Iron Maiden, Hallowed Be Thy Name, and The Trooper. Just a killer live set. I've never seen volume 1 of this, but I've seen volume 3, and it's actually a 7-inch. But again, every time I see these, they want crazy money for them. Really good sound quality, though, for a live bootleg. I was really happy with it. Next up, I've had this on CD for years. I actually think I have this one on tape, too. This is Cool from the Wire, from Dirty Looks. Really good album. This is probably my second favorite of theirs. Next up, without a doubt, let me double check. I think I might have 2 albums from them in here. Even if I do, without a doubt, one of my favorite bands. Actually, I've been listening to them all day today, and I'll talk about that in my next What's Spinning video. But This copy's rough, and I paid way too much for it. I paid like $10. But the vinyl itself is in really nice shape. A nice original pressing of Narita from Riot. The reason I paid the $10 is because the vinyl is pretty much near mint minus. Unfortunately, the jacket's kind of rough, but I used to see this everywhere, and I can't find it anywhere. I've been looking everywhere. There have been some reissues. I'd like to find originals, though. The Metal Blade reissues lately, they've been pumping them out, and the quality's starting to go down a little bit, in my opinion. But you just can't go wrong with Riot. This is a great album. In the background, we're listening to Voivod. This is Caters. I've talked about this album before. Just really good hard rock. Definitely worth checking out. I didn't like this when I first heard it. I wasn't expecting this. Voivod started as a killer thrash band, and that's what I was familiar with. And then I ran across this, and I was like, what the hell am I listening to? But by the third or fourth song, I was really digging it, and then I've liked it better and better with each spin since. So great album. Next up, this is another one that's in bad condition. I paid like $8 or $9 for, just because I've never seen it in the wild. The vinyl's in really good shape, but this is US Metal Volume 2 from Shrapnel. I think somebody else, maybe Eric Dust, showed it within the last couple days. His is definitely in better condition than mine. But let's see, the real standouts on here were Culprit, Exciter, Wild Dogs is on here, Virgin Steel, Vixen, Mike Patillo. So some really good songs on here, though. It's about half and half. Half I could do without, but the other half are just really good. The Exciter, I love the Exciter song and the Culprit song on here. Next, this is one I've had for 5 or 6 months and just never got around to spinning. Finally gave it a listen. Picked this up for like $4 or $5 in mint condition. This is the Fallen Angel EP from Poison. It was a UK only release. It's got Fallen Angel, Bad to Be Good, and then the B-side is like a 20-minute interview. And this is all Open Up and Say Ah era Poison, but still really cool find. Next up, man, I looked for this album High and Low. You've heard Nathan talk about this band quite a bit. I bought their single, or one of their 7-inches, and loved it. Maybe was it a 7-inch or a 10-inch? I don't remember. I bought one of their other albums though, and absolutely loved it. And this one, when they initially pressed it, sold out super fast. So I was really stoked to find out that Hell's Headbangers was repressing this. This is the Bat EP. I think it's 3 songs? 4 songs. And it's one-sided. This is the gray vinyl version. And then on the back, it's got the Bat logo screen printed. So that was really cool. And if you don't have this, grab it. I don't know if they still have it for sale. I believe they have a new album about to come out. I believe they have a full-length about to come out. But just really killer metal. Highly, highly recommend grabbing a copy of that if you can find it. Next up, I pre-ordered this maybe 6 or 7 months before it was released. I've had it a couple months now. I had never heard this band before. I buy everything that Rox Records puts out anyway, but Scott was really pushing this one. Again, I would have bought it anyway, but this is Behind Enemy Lines from Recon. This is a killer album. I've been listening to this non-stop. I bought the CD edition as well. The CD edition had some additional songs that I actually like even better than the main songs that are on here. There's 2 songs from their EP that I absolutely love. And I got the orange vinyl version, which I'm pretty sure is sold out now. But Recon is killer. It's funny. Scott and I were talking about this the day after it came out. And I had mentioned it reminds me a lot of the San Antonio scene from the 80s, which produced, bands like Watchtower and Hellstar, bands like that. And it reminded me a lot of Hellstar. And he had never noticed that before. And then he mentioned that it reminded him a lot of Queensryche, which I didn't catch. And as soon as he said it, it made sense. It kind of clicked. So, but definitely need to add this to your collection. I don't know if Rock still has any. Even if they have it on CD, highly recommend grabbing a copy of that. Next up is one of the few Record Store Day releases that I picked up. I'll probably never open this because I already have the song, but this is the Empires of the Cloud single. It's got an interview on the back, which I'm just not really interested in. I thought that the B-side was going to be something different, or the Empire of the Cloud was going to be a different version. It's not. It's just a studio song. It is on kind of a cool picture sleeve, but again, I'll probably never open this. This is number 42.95 of 6,000, so not super limited. Way overpriced in my opinion, but I got to add it to the collection. Next up, man, I was super stoked to run across this. I didn't even know this was available on vinyl. Scott Waters, if you don't have this yet, go on to Hell's Headbangers and buy this while you can. I can't get enough of this band. This is Malaya Rage, or Malaya Rage, depending on how you pronounce it. Death Valley Dream. This is a killer album. Let's see, and it's really limited. This is number 149 of 250. And I got it for relatively cheap, too. I want to say they had it on sale. One of the cool things, though, is it comes with this map of Death Valley on the inside. Just a traditional fold-out map. And on this side, you got Death Valley. And then on the other side is the lyric sheet. Really cool. I really got a kick out of that. But Malaya Rage is just a killer band. Again, highly recommend them. Their earlier stuff had some speed metal, US power metal, but great band. I haven't heard anything from this band that I haven't loved. Let's see, next up, just adding to, or finishing up the collection. This is one of the few albums from Blackfoot that I was missing, Marauder. I had a copy of this and it disappeared. I don't know if I traded it to somebody or what happened, but I was going through my collection and realized I was missing this, and I see it pretty regularly. I think I paid like $3 for this. This next one, I believe, is Aaron's favorite band. This is Detonation from Bloodgood. Pretty good Christian metal from 80s, 87. Very over the top. I was actually disappointed. I found this for $10. The vinyl's in great shape. And then literally the day after I ordered it, somebody was on Facebook and found a whole box of sealed copies that they were selling for $10. But just the way it goes sometimes. I actually should have bought one of those too and sold this. But another favorite of mine, I've talked about this band quite a bit. Definitely one of my favorite bands from the early 80s. This is Live in Belgium 84 from Acid. I also just picked up a copy of their new EPs were just released as on vinyl too, and I'll talk about that in a later video. I haven't cleaned or listened to it yet, but I finally got my copy in. But really nice, real thick cardboard sleeves. The inner sleeves got some great pictures of the band, as does the gatefold. This was released by Maniacal Records. But man, this thing goes usually for $30-35, and I ended up picking it up for like $13. I was blown away when I saw this. It was on one of the Facebook pages. This is the green vinyl version. Let's see if we can get that. And I just don't think the people that were bidding on it, one of the Facebook auctions, I don't think the people knew what it was, and nobody bid on it. So I bid $13. With shipping, it was like $15. I was super stoked to get this. This is one I was completely disappointed with. Not because of the album. I actually love the album. I'll get to it in a sec. This is a time capsule from Lita Ford, and basically what this is these are songs from the '80s that she recorded and never released, and she went back and re-recorded them and put this together, and I love it. The songs are great. She sounds amazing. She does a cover of Little Wing on here that's phenomenal. She just sounds as good as she ever did. Why I'm disappointed, I paid a little bit extra. This was supposed to be a signed copy that I got from Pledge Music, and then it came in, and if you see, it's not signed. Instead of actually opening these and signing them, which is what we paid for, she had extra copies of the insert printed, and she just signed a bunch of inserts and threw them in the box. So I was pretty pissed off about that. When you advertise a signed album and then you send a signed insert, it's just not the same thing. And it is a cool picture, and it'll get framed and end up on the wall somewhere here in the room, but I was just kind of disappointed by that. And I actually complained to Pledge Music, and I saw about 20 other people complain too, so there's a lot of people that were pissed off by that. It's an $18 album where we paid $35 for it, thinking that we're going to get the signed copy, and then you don't get it. Pretty disappointing. This is one that I've wanted since it came out. I tried to buy it when it was first released, and they sold out fast. I didn't have the money. I was literally on there one day. There were like 10 copies left on Rox's website, and the next day I went on and they were gone. And luckily Bill from Rox got a couple extra copies, and I was able to get a copy. But this is Live at the Whiskey from Stryper. This is an amazing show. I love this album. Now, there were only 300 copies pressed worldwide. That's why it's so hard to get. And prices went through the roof for a while. It was a $35 album that was selling for like $150 for a while. I didn't pay close to that. I think I paid $45 or $48, something like that. But still super stoked to finally have this in the collection. And again, whether you get this on CD or vinyl, this is one I highly recommend picking up. Really good live set. And that's it, VC. A little longer than I wanted it to be, but tell me what you think of these albums. Any recommendations that you got for me? For those of you, the women out there, the moms out there, the husbands out there, I hope you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day, and I'll see you soon.